Okay, we need approval of the previous minutes.
Make a motion to approve the previous minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Who's opposed?
Who's that? Yeah.
Tim.
Is there any citizen that would like to address this council at this time? PDS report, Gail.
We had 4 new cases this month. Most of it was weeds or vegetation and gutter drain on the property at 318 Pike Street. And the question that was asked last month concerning 217 Boone Street, the only thing that can be done is they have to have a call to the property, and Mike Stewart or one of the police officers have to obtain some body cam video to show how many people actually living on the property. The other thing I have is kind of like, my original understanding of the old school building down there was supposed to be 6 to 8 units in the gym. Is that correct?
Oh, I didn't know there was a number set on it.
There was a number set either.
Where was it? I read that there was a number set. I don't know going in there.
Well, okay, regardless of that fact, our current zoning ordinance that's in place today, not the one that Kim is about to read tonight, states that you can only have 30 units per acre of land. According to Link GIS, that's basically 3/4 is 0.71, which would then mean that they can only have like 22, 23 units, and it looks like they're on schedule to have 34 units.
Well, PDS would have to give them authority to how
When I
many.
spoke to PDS, and I didn't like the answer that I got.
From PDS? you
Yes.
mean?
Yeah. He basically said that, at this point, if we try to do something, there would be a lawsuit. The city would be sued, and so would PDS. But, you know, we have aggressively issued a 305 Main Street being non-compliant, and the issue at 240 Shelby Street being non-compliant as well. So I don't know how we as a city can sit here and allow them to put in more units than are permitted by our current zoning, and it's even less under our new zoning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I look at it this way. We got PDS is supposed to take care of that stuff for us. And he's gotten permission to, I'm sure he had to show how many units were going in there, or they wouldn't give a permit. You know what I mean?
I got the impression from, Rob would not put anything in writing, but I got the impression that maybe the ball got dropped at PDS.
If that's the case, our only course would be with file some type of legal thing against them.
I'm just bringing this to light. I mean, I don't know how we can sit here and allow it to continue.
Well, I don't know, I mean, if we're having this much with PDS, what other course do we have? I mean, other than city direct lawsuits, and that's very, very expensive. Especially if we lose, you know what I'm saying?
Don't we have to know for sure how many units there are
They
before?
probably told us, yeah.
And Rob told me there was gonna be 34.
Right.
There's 17 existing there and 17 new.
I know I hear you and I understand you, but I don't know what course we got, but that's our authority that's authorized to do it, do away with them, PDS and everything. I mean,
No, I'm not suggesting.
Oh, I know, Gil, I'm just saying,
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
hear you, but like you say, what is our course?
I think the first thing we gotta do is get some sort of explanation from PDS.
Well, do you want to reach out to him, because he was very vague. He didn't want to put anything in writing, and you know.
Is that the
When
new
we
guy?
messed up.
Oh, Rob?
Yeah, he was very vague. And, so I would like someone to at least look into it, because we're going down a path.
Did you look at the ordinance? I mean, is that?
Yeah, I looked at the zoning ordinance that currently exists, and it says 30 units per acre of land. According to Link GIS, it's 0.71 acres. So I kind of did a math on that, and it comes out to 22 or 23 units.
Is it a municipal ordinance? Is it probably?
It's a zoning ordinance.
It's a zoning
It
ordinance.
is a zoning, existing zoning. And when we finally pass the Z21 tonight, it even gets less. It's 20 units per acre.
And an exception we made.
Well, I asked that question and he said it's too late to do a,
I mean,
Would they not be grandfathered in because they, or whatever the term is for them?
not if under the old ordinance, they're still over the line.
Yeah.
I wonder what I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt him. I wonder what the issue is. Is it a fire safety issue with the number of units? Because, I mean, I've been in the building
You
and
know,
it's,
it couldn't be that, because then the PDS would let him build that many units. If it was a exit or something like that.
I just wonder what the.
And not only that, when they're done, the fire department has to go down the right, Mike, and inspect it. And if they find a problem with it, they will not issue a occupational license, correct, Mike?
You can't occupy the building, you won't be able to get occupation or occupant, you won't be able to occupy those spaces.
Right.
And they've sent out plans, it's been a while since I looked at them, they're adding, some stuff to the fire alarm, I think, updating that, but I haven't looked at them in a while.
What Gail was saying.
Can I ask you to, before we say much more, did you turn that on?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. I can't write that fast.
But you know, what Gail was saying, it went against one of our old ordinances, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's even less in our new ordinance. It's 20 per acre. The old is 30 per acre.
Okay.
So either way you go, when the new one passes, regardless if he goes down to 22 units or 23 units,
Yeah.
he's gonna be non-conforming on our new ordinance, but that's fine.
Yeah, but it would be permitted at that point.
Correct,
because of the
correct.
old ordinance. And, it's been a while since I looked at it, but I don't think an agent of a city can give somebody permission to violate the law. In other words, if I'm an inspector of some sort, I can't tell you, yeah, it's okay to do that. And in this case, because it's PDS, it's not really the city. Let me check.
And just to kind of look into it, I can see this being a terrible mess, because if he stopped doing what he's doing, he's always allowed to have this. First thing we'll do is have a lawsuit. He's going to sue us and PBS. You know what I'm saying?
I understand completely, but by the same token, if we're enforcing the ordinance for one or two other people, we need to stay on course.
Just look into
Let me
it.
look into it.
Would that count?
accepted
I'm not familiar with that.
Right.
That's been my role or anything, but, you talk about an acre wide or whatever, but is that going up too? Because, you've got riverfront property down the road, if somebody sells something and whatever, something you may want to think about is how many stories can that be and, acre wide or how many going up?
he is going up in the gym, Nancy.
I think that's what meant by going up would be added on top of what's existing. Yeah.
I don't know.
Thanks, Rich.
But that's just something to bring up for you guys to think about. I don't have a dog in the
Yeah,
fight.
because they build high rises down along the river and all that, and there's maybe 100 units in them.
Right.
And then,
So, just something to think about down the road when
right. Okay. Can we look
I
at
mean,
it
if there's
before?
no real good reason to do that, I mean, you could always amend what you're adopting tonight to permit it, unless, there's some.
How can you permit something that was already supposedly pre-approved under the old zoning
Well,
ordinance?
I think, like I said, if there's no real good rationale for why they limit that, or why it was limited, or if that rationale is no longer valid, I don't know without taking a look at it.
Okay.
Let's see what we can find out.
Okay. Anything else? Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you know if is 211 on Moore Street on?
211, which house is that? Oh, I know which one it is. No, it is not, but I will get it on there.
They're collecting a lot of tires out there,
Okay.
which eventually becomes an environmental
Sure,
hazard.
Okay, I will report that first thing in the morning.
Mike, please, Cody.
Everybody get my report?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions?
If you like any questions for Chief Cody? Well, it wasn't very long report.
No, it was not. It was nice and sweet and short.
Yeah.
We did have an investigation, I can't go too much into detail about, major felony. The officers worked about 3 hours on him. Was able to make an arrest off of it, but I can't go
Right,
into
well,
detail just yet.
Are you all in trouble for sitting way back there, is it?
No,
Time out.
it was the fireman's idea, as usual, and it's not part of the most comfortable system we have,
I
so.
thought you did something to get in trouble with that air.
Thank you,
Follow the
Cody.
fire lead.
Well, thank you, Cody.
Okay.
Okay, Mike, Stewart.
You should have a report, a couple things that, we had 2 students, pass paramedic class, and they both passed with 4.0s. And that is a very rigorous, class. They basically give your life up for a year trying to do that plus work, do the ride time, hospital time, and then go to class 2 days a week. And it's not like regular class, when you get out spring breaks and you get like 1 week off, I think, and then maybe a day. So, and then we had our internship program. There's just some numbers there. Just trying to show you how, we're using the money there. We've got, actually they're starting tonight, or recruit class. Well, actually, I guess they started Monday. They started Monday night with recruit class. That was a physical agility, but the first night of class is tonight. We got a gentleman that starts next week, paramedic class. We have another gentleman, another female, or another lady who is starting EMT class. And then we got a gentleman who's doing recruit class and EMT class, so he filled up his schedule, so he's gonna be pretty busy for the next few months. But anybody have any questions or concerns, or?
No. Thank you, Mike.
All right, sir.
Appreciate it. Okay, Hall, Diane.
The only thing I've got for the hall is that the carpet should be installed next week.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
Monday, they're gonna come in here
Mhm.
and do the carpet, and then after that, we get the table, so hopefully by our next meeting in September, we'll be in there. Okay?
I got bad news for you, Mayor, you're probably gonna have a meeting before then on your tax rate.
No, okay, all right. Okay, Road and Light Committee, please, Dave's not here, he never gave me any information. Public Works, Bob?
Mike, I put I sent you that message, text message to you.
Oh, yeah, about the,
I left those purchase orders on your desk.
Right,
You just take a look at them. I know we usually don't do that.
Right.
I usually give them right to Terry, but because the expenses were higher than normal,
right.
I figured you might want to take a look at them.
I did look down there, but the bond was justified, we had to have it.
Oh, yeah, it's all justified.
Right.
We have a couple of more expenses coming up.
Mhm.
We definitely need a battery for our zero turn,
Right.
which that would probably be about $40 or $50.
Right.
But I did order 10 gallons of white striping paint.
Right, yeah, that's
And
seen that,
that-
my deal, right?
For my deal, yeah, they're gonna probably come in we'll probably have them Thursday. Usually when it's, materials like that, I usually just charge that to Road and Light,
Right, okay.
you know.
Well, that's what you're using it on.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna use it on. The plan is to just go ahead and restripe all the parking spaces here on Boone Street on
Yeah.
both sides, and then start working on crosswalks and stop blocks.
Yeah, 'cause that's pretty important for school now, coming
Yeah.
in session, to get crosswalks done,
So we'll probably be able to start on that next week.
Okay, good, good. You got yellow paint too?
Yeah, we still have some yellow, but
Okay.
between myself and then last October when I was sick and Jack finished up most of it,
Okay.
doing all the corners and, where
Right.
no parking areas.
Mhm.
But we have a little bit, but we can always pick up a couple of gallons. That's not a problem.
Good. The new brushes work good on the machine? The
It's night and day. The splines, or the bristles, I mean,
Mhm.
on the old wire brush were about this long. That's how far we wore them down. They're wire still. The new ones are this long.
So you get the
Makes a
curve.
big difference, gets right in there and rips out a lot of stuff, you know, so,
So it's all needed, that's for sure.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
Just one thing Tim wanted me to add was to let Bob know that streets look nice after all the street cleaning and stuff.
Oh,
You
you
can grab
definitely
and
know.
say,
And I can too.
good job.
But he's the guy that does all the hard work.
They look nice coming into town.
Okay,
Well, just one over, never mind, I'll tell you later on. Tony, what's his name?
Oh, Tony Butler?
Butler, yeah. He said he's probably gonna start on that wall in about 2 weeks. I don't know if he contacted, he said he was gonna give me a call.
Yeah, not yet. He usually does that at nighttime. When he quits working.
okay, Ken, you have the floor.
Okay, the mayor and I have been talking on and off for a while about policies regarding vacation and time off and things like that. The mayor talked to me Monday and asked me if I put together something, you know, consistent with what he was thinking. So I handed that out to everybody. If you haven't had a chance to digest it, I don't think you really need that tonight, but if you want to, I've got an ordinance and you can go ahead and read it for the first time. So take a look at that and we can get back to that in a minute. I've got the second reading ordinance 7124. Ordinance of the City of Romney, Kenton County, Kentucky, repealing the Romney zoning ordinance adopted on July 6, 1976, and all amendments thereto, and adopting a new zoning ordinance which includes new text and a new official zoning map for the City of Romney. Whereas the Kenton County Planning Commission initiated audit of the zoning ordinances in Kenton County to determine the usefulness of the current ordinances in light of nearly 40 years of amendments, granted variances, court rulings, and technological advancements, and whereas it was determined that a new zoning ordinance would better serve the communities of Kenton County, and the Kenton County Planning Commission drafted a blueprint code and review process called Zoning for the 21st Century, or Z21. Whereas the City of Romney submitted an application requesting the Kenton County Planning Commission to review and make recommendations on the proposed new zoning ordinance, which includes new text and a new official zoning map. And whereas a public hearing was held on this application by the Kenton County Planning Commission, with the Kenton County Planning Commission having given its recommendation for approval with findings of fact. And whereas the City Council of the City of Romney having reviewed the record compiled by the Kenton County Planning Commission, and the City Council agreeing with the recommendations of the Planning Commission, hereby adopts the Planning Commission's findings of fact in support of the new zoning ordinance. Now therefore be ordained by the City Council of the City of Romney, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, that the City of Romney zoning ordinance adopted on July 6, 1976, and all subsequent amendments thereto are hereby repealed in their entirety, and a new zoning ordinance which includes a new text and a new official zoning map of the City of Romney is hereby adopted with the additional condition amending the first line of Article 7, Section 7.06, paragraph F7, by adding the word city between the phrase accepted by and the phrase street trees. The new zoning ordinance is attached here to and incorporated here by reference. Section 2, ordinances or parts of ordinance in conflict or the extent of such conflict repealed. Section 3, the invalidity of any section, subsection, or sentence of this ordinance shall not affect the remainder. Section 4, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect when passed, recorded, and published according to law. Said publication may be in summary form or by internet publication as allowed by law. And that's the second reading on that.
I'll make one motion to accept 7124 ordinance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You may have it.
When that ordinance gets published, I need a copy to send to Megan so that she can do her end and get it done on her end.
Okay.
I also had the tax rate ordinance. We just got the assessment number back till the end of July, so this will be the first reading of this. The assessment didn't really change a whole lot, and the mayor suggested that we use the same rate as last year, which was 0.220 cents, so each $100. We're going to have a second reading on this before the next next council meeting, is they need to by September the 9th to get it printed, and get it mailed out through the county, so. At any rate, this is, first reading of ordinance 8124, an ordinance providing for the levy, apportionment, and collection of taxes and revenue for the city of Bromley, Kentucky for the period from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. Be ordained by the city of Bromley, Kentucky, section 1 for the fiscal year 2024-2025. There is hereby imposed levy and assessed a tax of 0.220 cents of each $100 valuation of the real and personal properties, including watercraft, within the corporate limits of the city of Bromley, liable for taxation and not exempt from municipal taxation under the provision of this section, and such tax rate and such tax shall be used and expended for the purposes set forth in the attachment consisting of the budget incorporated here by reference and for those purposes only. Section 2, pursuant to the city of Bromley ordinance 7396, there is hereby imposed levy and assessed a tax of 0.100 cents of each $100 valuation of the real and personal properties, including watercraft, within the corporate limits of the city of Bromley, liable for such taxation and not exempt from municipal taxation under the provisions of this section. Such tax shall be used and expended for repair, reconstruction, or maintenance of roads and streets as provided for in that ordinance. Section 3, pursuant to the city of Bromley ordinance 6107, you hereby impose levy and assess a tax of 0.111 cents or $100 valuation of the real and personal properties, including watercraft, within the corporate limits of the city of Bromley, liable for taxation and not exempt from municipal taxation under the provisions of this section. And such tax shall be used and expended for police, fire, life squad, and related emergency services as provided in that ordinance. Section 4, all ad valorem taxes, including road taxes and emergency service taxes previously approved and imposed by the city, shall be due and payable in accordance with the city of Bromley ordinance 6119, which authorizes the sheriff of Kenton County to collect all ad valorem taxes by the use of the sheriff's practices and procedures for collection of same. Section 5, property taxes levied and imposed by this ordinance, including the special taxes previously approved and imposed by the city, not paid by the due date as determined by the Kenton County Sheriff, shall incur a penalty of 25% and shall bear interest at the rate of 1% per month or a part of the month from the date delinquent until paid in full. Section 4, all ordinances in conflict are to the extent of such conflict repealed. Section 7, the invalidity of any section, subsection, or sentence of this ordinance shall not affect the remainder. Section 8, this ordinance shall take effect and be in full force after its passage, approval, and publication for the law.
Okay, somebody make a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept 8124.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
I know you want to talk about a special meeting at the second reading.
I don't have a calendar in front of me, but I would like to have it, if it's okay, to the second Wednesday. What is the last Wednesday of this month?
28.
The 28th. Let's go with that, and let me check my calendar, but I'll stick with that. If something comes up important, I'll get a hold of everybody before then we'll set another date. So the 28th, okay?
28th, okay. Yeah, that,
Does that have to be published before it goes to the show?
I think so.
Yeah, but that should be.
I'll tell her, when she's on vacation, so I'll tell her when she gets back.
And we also have to send this public notice out, there's a time period when that has to be sent out, but I'll talk to Brittany about that.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if you had a chance to look at that vacation policy or not, if you want to read that tonight, I can, if not,
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
It says shall be entitled. Does that mean they can decide not to take it, or
Vacation?
they have to take
Sure,
it?
they can decide.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, they can decide not to.
Okay.
I'd like to take a month this came out of the clear blue to me. I thought we discussed this.
That's fine, the council can take time.
Yeah, no, that's.
And add something you feel like you should add to it or whatever.
I thought we already decided months ago that it wasn't really necessary. But, if that's what you want to try and do, I'd rather take a month.
No, that's fine, yeah. Let's everybody take a look at it.
And if you want to put this down for reading, if that's the first reading of the special meeting, you can do that.
I mean, it's just something that.
It doesn't need to be done right
Why not? I mean, how to come about that?
Well, I actually directed him that maybe we should have something. Now, he did say, tell me that really, I mean, even this right here being.
I mean, it's just odd for part-time. I mean, you're not full-time.
And
Well, looking back at that auditor's statement a couple of years ago, they kind of suggested that you get written policies about these kinds of things. So I think it's a good idea to have it.
Okay, all right.
the thing I don't like about it, I mean, if they take a vacation for a week, they only miss 2 hours.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not a big deal, but,
Yeah.
okay. It's
I'll just
been
take a look at it.
years.
Basically, this policy just says,
They're entitled to a vacation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
but they can take it or not take it and make it up, or,
Right.
okay.
And it's unpaid, right? Is that how I read it?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
2 weeks of unpaid time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Would we want to also put maybe the discussion of the school building on the special meeting, after Kim has an opportunity to talk to PDS?
I was gonna suggest that too.
You got, didn't have enough time?
I mean, I can try.
Okay. If not,
Discussion of, speed limit, I guess, and if I find out anything, but. I also sent your House Bill 413 money down to the finance cabinet with the information I got from the chief about the number of employees and those kinds of things. That property at 240 Shelby has been brought up a few times here in the last few months. I wrote another letter and haven't heard anything back from the owner. That's the second letter I sent, and to my knowledge, it's not been paid, so I don't know what you want to do with it.
well, we should have paid, right?
I mean, it's a lien on the property, it's $4,337 as of June.
And this is the property at the corner of Shelby and Roman
Mhm.
that has been sold.
Most
And
people live
the
there.
lien hasn't been satisfied during the sale of it.
How's that happen?
Is there any, how's that happen?
Whoever didn't get a title report, or whoever did get a title report, missed it.
Well, then they're responsible for that.
They should be. That doesn't get you paid.
Right, oh, I know, but we can file a lien against it.
You know, a lot of these people that buy these properties don't mess with titles.
That should be the city's responsibility, if they fail to get that done, you know what I mean?
No, I agree, I mean, it's a lien on the property, it's like an unpaid tax bill.
We're gonna put another lien on the property?
So do you have to have a title? Does a bank loan on a house that has a lien on it?
Banks won't loan money without a title report. This was
So,
probably a problem.
okay.
So what are you doing, putting another lien on the property?
No, there's a lien on there.
Yeah, it's already-
There's more than one.
So
lien. There's two.
a letter to collect on it.
He did send a letter with apparently no response,
I
right?
sent one letter a couple of months ago, and he called and said he was gonna get it taken care of, and I haven't heard back. Y'all asked me the last meeting to send another letter.
So
They-
it's
they
step
want them
2.
sold?
What's step 2 if they don't pay?
Yeah.
I guess foreclosed. Right,
Yeah, I mean, that's.
I mean, that's
That's
a
the
very
option.
big step, but
Wasn't that company from California? Yeah.
You know, they changed hands a couple of times, and I think these liens.
this is
are
two
actually-
young guys that own it.
Yeah, but that original
They,
one that were from California Realtor or something, you know?
I thought they were, eventually there was somebody over in Cincinnati that was handling that towards the end.
For the people in California.
Is that what it was?
There's
That's
an
what
attorney
it
that
is.
actually came, I think, at some point to a meeting and talked about some violations that this one 3 or 4 years ago.
Is this the white one?
Yeah, right on the corner, yeah.
Okay.
The one they just redid.
I heard that the contractor sold it back to himself or sold it back to his son or something.
I don't know, but we gotta get that, that's, you know. Okay. Anything else, Ken?
Just whatever you want me to do with this, if you want to file something.
Yeah, I'm gonna file whatever we need to file and get the money, you know what I mean, get the liens.
So how about a letter telling them that within 10 days it'll be,
I can try for a letter.
or go ahead and file the
It's up to you
foreclosure?
all, just.
Once you send a letter
I
and
don't-
saying if we don't have this, can you say something after we receive this letter, that this is not taken care of in 30 days?
I wouldn't even give them 30 days.
I wouldn't either, I'd give them
I'd give them 10
10 or
days.
15 days and that's
Huh.
it.
There you go.
I'll
Third time's a charm.
Who's that master commissioner deed to the lots down there at the park?
Oh, okay.
I was working on this ordinance on fireworks, and when I looked at it, you've got fireworks regulations in two different sections. So some of them are in section, or chapter 93, and some are the ones that we just changed. PDS.
Yeah.
So there's kind of two different fireworks sections. So I'll make to go through and make sure we've got consistent things in both of those. So I'll get that, we get that on our next meeting. And I don't know if y'all are keeping a hardbound copy of the city ordinances.
Okay, yeah.
American Legal did, but those are the revisions.
Right there, you go ahead.
So are those online now?
I'm sorry.
Are those online now, the new?
Yeah, they're all online.
Okay,
At least as of a couple months ago.
okay.
But this is just for our hardbound copy. That's all I have.
Okay, Ways and Means, Mike?
The July financial report is basically just 1 month into the new year, really not much to talk about, but they look okay. We did run into an issue here recently where basically I'll take some of the blame, but we were spending money faster than Terry could keep up with actually on the council chambers. And as I reported last month, we were tight on the general fund, and things just didn't go the right direction. We were hoping to get the $1,000 reimbursement, all this good stuff. Well, that didn't take place, so therefore, we're extremely tight. So one way to help us get finished with the council chambers and some other stuff that needs to be paid, we're holding on to invoices until we have enough money in the general fund. But I am going to recommend that we enable to keep the council chambers going and keep these other projects going, is that we move $75,000 from the road fund over to the general fund, and then when we get the reimbursement from the state, put that 75 into the road fund. Of course, it has to go into general fund first before you can go to the road fund. So.
You can't move that money from the road fund, can you?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
It's designated by ordinance.
Hold on. I've got the statement here.
I know utilities you can't reappropriate, but I'm not sure about the streets.
But we have a special road tax that was voted in by the citizens of 1%, designating it for the use of the roads.
Well,
That could be
if
dropped.
that's the case, then we're gonna have to hold up and not pay anybody anything.
What about the $302,000 money market, can't you?
Sure, but we're trying like hell.
We're trying to save that.
But if you're gonna take 75 out of road fund, why can't you take it out of the money market and then put it back, same principle?
But I'm almost positive I read something that allows Mike to do this. Hold on one second.
Kim, what's your opinion?
I don't think it's a good idea.
Well, then we'll just take it out of the.
Transfer of appropriations. The financial officer may at any time transfer any unencumbered, whereas that is encumbered in there.
Yeah, I mean, it says street for street
Okay.
maintenance.
I misunderstood it.
Well, Mike, let's just go ahead and take the 75
Okay.
out of that.
Well,
And
we'll tell Terry.
We'll tell Terry, and we'll just reimburse it when we get the 75,000 from the state,
That'll work.
which could happen any day now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we might get it Monday, you know what I mean? We don't.
But I sent a message today. Unfortunately, we're dealing with somebody who has, it's a new job. She really knows nothing. She's doing her best, though. She's trying hard for me. And she said that she's still waiting on word from them because I had to submit. She actually asked for a certified or a recorded deed, and she actually had it. So that's how confusing all this stuff is with them down there. And so she found that, and then she needed a map. And the way she first phrased it, it sounded like she wanted an engineered stamp map of the as-built. And to me, an as-built drawing is an engineer's drawing.
And that's expensive.
And yeah, I checked with Palmer, and it was the maximum would have been $3,200. So I kind of cried and said, do we really have to spend $3,200, to get this map? And she finally came back and said, no, just put something together that gives me this, 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 and this. So I did. I pulled things up and gave her the latitude, longitude, coordinates, a whole host of stuff. Put it on a map, sent it to her, and I said, how's that look? And she goes, I hope it's good. So she had to send it to somebody else. So,
It's really sad that they've always that money. How long now? 3 years? Going? We've been trying to get that money.
well,
Longer than that.
it's been a while, but it's not our fault. It's the court system.
Right, yeah.
And, the court held up almost a year, easy, something like that. Yeah. So anyway,
Oh, let's go.
so let me rephrase my motion then.
Okay.
I'll rescind the first one.
Okay, motion.
Nothing acted on it.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we take 75,000 out of the current CD and then put it back as soon as
Reimburse it from the
Yeah,
state.
yeah.
I'll second.
Okay,
Tim, he was first.
Tim's first? Okay.
First, second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mike, was that overdraft situation taken care of?
Oh, yeah, the bank apologized to me. Oh, yeah,
It actually, the money was there.
yeah. They actually apologized 3 times that they can't believe they had that oversight. Somebody should have looked at it a little bit better, you know. Okay, that it, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, Art?
Tim has, one thing he wanted everybody to start thinking about was future military for down at the park. We're gonna have to eventually have something that has room for future military
Right, yeah,
needs.
yeah.
And for the, 2 guys, Tanner and, Bible, we've
Okay.
gotta get them recognized somewhere down there. So if everybody would just be thinking of what and how we can
Yeah, I
memorialize.
mean, can you get a hold of somebody that does the plating, where you're talking about an individual? level?
Well, he's almost talking about a different another pillar-like sort of slab,
Okay, all right, yeah.
so that we can continue on with the
On with
names for future, yeah.
Go ahead and start looking at some pricing on it.
Tony also still has two plaques that need to go back in there too.
Right,
He's
yeah.
still holding on to them to figure out how to install them instead of having them just sitting on the ground.
Right.
Right.
That's where they were at the other place, so trying to put them on pedestals also, which is, I think, one of Bob's relatives, I think.
That's father.
Yeah, sorry it's taking so long. It needs to go back in there.
You
Okay.
remember the plaques we're talking about?
Yes.
The little ones that were
Mhm.
like that were
Mhm.
sunk in the thing?
Yeah, and he's also got one for Bible that was a separate one.
Okay, yeah, right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. The fence, if you haven't noticed, has been
Okay.
installed. It looks really
Yeah,
nice.
it does, yeah.
It does look nice. And, he's waiting to hear back on, installation date or when we can get on the schedule to get the pickleball court put in.
Where's that going?
On the left side, if you're looking at the maintenance building, it's going on the left side.
What is
happened to
this
our
house?
splash pad?
Our splash pad got too expensive.
They
Too
are.
expensive, too much maintenance, many, what's the word, on liability.
Okay. Anything else, Diane?
I think that's it. Anything else? Is that all? Did I cover it all? All right.
Well, Andrew, anything with the insurance, grant or anything?
No claims, just for future reference, we're covered with $1 million policy on fireworks, so if they ever want to sell fireworks again, we got it made.
Under grants, I know you weren't involved with it, but that Chisenhall, what's your first name? Ron Chisenhall got a grant for the city to hire, somebody to come here and start doing a records retention and going through all the files and downloading them. That is going to be
Turning it
paid.
digital,
Huh?
making
Yes,
digital ordinances.
and going through the ones that we don't need, you know what I mean, the ones that we can disregard. But she's going to go to some training So she's insured, she knows what she has to stay and what she does not have to stay. And we hope to bring her on board the 1st of September
Okay.
and bring her in here and we can bring the stuff out of that bag and we
Is
got
that
stuff.
all matching, is that matching grant or it all paid for?
It's all paid for,
Okay.
yes.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's all thanks to Rhonda.
Yeah.
She did all this, and she did all the paperwork, and she gave me a bunch of papers to sign. But she's I was very grateful, because this could cost us a lot of money, because we gotta get it done.
Right.
We gotta get it caught up, and that stuff back there goes back in the freaking 1800s. You know? Well, I've seen stuff back in there like 1830 and,
Well,
you know.
some of it's historic, and I really, you know,
Yeah.
maybe we
Well,
should.
some of that stuff, no, we'll definitely keep,
Yeah,
but,
yeah. How come we only paid part of the, insurance? We paid 7,000, and last year we paid 12,000, and we just told them.
That's what we got billed. I don't know. That's the only bill I seen.
Normally, it's around $12,000, it has been for the last several
Did
years.
they break it
I
up?
usually get CC'd when those bills come through.
Okay.
So I can go back and try to take a look.
Okay, there's usually 3 bills, one
It
for
was
like
the-
liability and 2 other ones, I forgot what it was.
Okay. So this last cycle, you're saying it was low?
Yeah, it was only 7,000 that was paid according to our check register we get every month.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they just sent it, didn't send the others, and like, forgot to do the job, you know?
We did a rate,
Huh?
we did a rate split.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
and your
Okay,
Okay, is that it, Andy?
Sure was.
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to Chief Stewart and the Ludlow Fire Department for showing up to the street there and down the booth. I think that was nice to have that visibility in the community. And that was a good event.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, on the mayor's report, I had a meeting last week with the Director of Engineering with SD1, Lydia Watkins, where they decided to go ahead and they are gonna run that sewer line down Route 8 all the way to, almost at the River Dog Saloon, stop somewhere before then, weren't they, Mike?
Our city line, somewhere close to our city line.
Right. And that would take care of everything out there towards that end of Bromley. Now, the future thing is that Bill Hills, if they want to, can eventually tap into that, but they opted out of not doing it, you know what I mean? It's,
But they,
It's kind of crazy.
well, no, they didn't opt out, they, well, they didn't
well,
opt out.
they didn't opt out, they had their money, they wanna make their money was still gonna be secured,
The
right?
budget, yeah, the budget went way over because the design required the installation of a pump station.
Right.
To pump it up into the system that
Already
that would be our, or not
Yeah.
ours, but our section. So it was a shared program, but there's only X number of dollars in there. So Villa Hills was kind enough to say, well, get Bromley's done first because their
Yes.
size isn't big enough to handle their future. So it's a plus for them too, because their future needs will be addressed. But it'll take another
Yeah.
lump sum of money.
Yeah.
I think they got $2 million bucks
Yeah.
It's all
just for
on-
that sewer.
Is this all on SD1 or is this
Yeah.
50/50
No,
cost
no.
share?
Oh, that's the one.
So is this like a second phase to the current project that's
No,
already done?
I know this is totally separate than what's going down
Do
there.
you know where they're gonna run the line?
Well, it's going right down the road.
Right down there.
Oh, it's gonna go into this.
It'll
Right
be
down the road that
Okay.
they're finishing, that they're redoing right now?
Yeah, but it's down the
It's
road.
2 years down the road.
Yeah.
It'll take them
All
2
we know
years.
is they secured it, the money is secured,
Yeah.
so once they get all their information in, they will start it. You know?
I don't know how they did it, but it's ARPA money,
Yeah, it's hard.
but they can do it.
Yeah.
What was it, what was 1 point, I can't remember what. it
That's
was.
almost $2 million.
Almost $2 million with that stretch of Romney,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's going all the way out to Dry Creek, isn't it?
Huh?
So the treatment
Oh,
facility?
no,
Is that where that's going?
the sewer itself is gonna be an extension from the last manhole, which is across from,
Is BP or?
before BP.
Before
BP.
Mhm.
Then they'll tap into that and go down to our property line.
Oh.
Now, but what I understand, they're not gonna force people right now to tie into it.
They're not gonna force them.
They have the opportunity to do it. And what it will do is the open space down there The reason why stuff ain't built on that hill there, that where the Martins used to live in at, is because they, no sewers. Because I had a developer come and talk to me, this has been 2 years ago, and I'd like to buy that, is there sewers there? And he said, I said, no, he goes, well, I'm not overlooking the river, you know what I mean? There's no sewers. That will help that. And also, I tell you that the block party was a huge success. I think everybody was pleased with it. I don't know how many people came up and told me that this council has done more to improve the city, improve the city than any council has in years. But the city is really looking great. So, heads off there on our council. There's a lot of people who appreciate what's going on, everything that we do. So, and I also got contacted the Riverwalk people. Everything been approved. Wrongly, we're locked in there. You know what I mean? They're going to get a large, I forgot how many millions it was. It's from the government, and they're going to start proceeding further level down this way.
Is it a general time frame? Oh, yeah.
This
I-
has been
I-
long,
I-
yeah, and it's since
Yeah.
Dave Rayford was mayor. It
Yeah.
started way over
I was
and
just
so
wondering.
on.
I probably never see it in my lifetime.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, am I going to see it?
No,
Okay. Hey, Mike, I didn't know.
unless they get a huge amount of money, but things are going to tighten up, I'm afraid, and you won't see that money available.
Okay.
Probably about the time the new interstate bridge is built.
Yeah.
And also, Stephanie will be here in September to go to audit with the council, okay? So, she's going to attend the September meeting and go over the audit, and so if any council members got any questions or something like that, she's going to be here to answer.
Is she gonna send out the draft like she normally does to all the council?
Yeah, actually, Brittany told me she should be getting that.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
I have one question
Yeah.
for you. What was the $12,000 that was given to the block party? What did they use that for?
Probably to cover some of their expenses, startup expenses.
Okay.
You know, because they had to prepay a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And they used that, but all that money's been returned.
No, just 10,000.
Oh, 10,000.
The only reason it was they gave us back 10,000 is because of this crunch with the money.
Yeah.
So I went and asked them, would you guys be willing to give your 10,000 back to us, and then we'll hold on to it until we get our financing squared away, and we'll send it back to you, because they need to keep that for their startup for next year.
For the next year.
Yeah, they profited, their profit was $18,000, which is one of the best years of the fire department's two-day event.
Yeah, 2 days, the last event that our department had for 2 days, we only made 14,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they made 18,000
With this economy.
1 day.
I think the reason they made so much money is because we always handled it in cash, and people carry just a certain amount of cash, whereas they use credit cards. So people just don't realize how much they're swiping that card, and it was great. So, they did a great job.
They did do a good job.
And it's gonna be improved next year, they know where mistakes were made and everything like that.
They're gonna have lighting next year?
Huh?
They're gonna have lighting next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, all that's
Borderlands.
been addressed already. They had a wrap-up meeting last week.
Are
So
they
there's all
fireworks
that
too?
stuff. Well, that's
I'll
an
tell you what
issue.
really made the difference, and we didn't know, but when we put them big lights up, oh my God. But they like that street, the portable lights, the LEDs, get a couple more of them each into that, and that whole street was lit up like daylight.
The fortunate thing for them is if they had to pay for the fireworks, they would have only profited 8,000. If they had a donor donate 10,000.
Well, that's why I was just wondering if from now until next year, we can come up with some type of fundraising or something to maybe get the money back.
Well, they're gonna do what they can to see if they can entice that same donor to do the same thing.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
gonna keep in touch with them. I would say he probably will, because he was,
Like the old big event.
we know he wanted to be anonymous, but he and I both know who it is. It's the same guy that we were dealing with when the fire department had him. He was gonna donate years ago, and for some reason he backed out. So he's not, I guess he's he's worth a lot more money, I guess. So, hopefully he'll donate next year. And he plans, what he does, he plans an annual party at his house just for the fireworks.
Oh,
So, hopefully he does it again. If he doesn't, then they'll have to make a tough decision. To spend $10,000. That's tough for him.
that's a lot for a small 501c3.
It's 30 minutes, $10,000 gone.
Yeah.
Literally blown up.
Yeah,
It's hard,
every
it's hard.
I like
look good.
Yeah, I like being able to sit on my porch. Gotta trim that tree though. Gotta-
Okay, need to have acceptance for all committee reports. Somebody want to make a motion to accept them?
I'll make a motion to accept the committee reports.
Second, Tim, all in favor? Opposed? Anybody got any old business?
What's the status on the pantry? I know I ask every month.
We're going to Powder Coat this week.
Okay.
So, hopefully, not a special meeting, but our next regularly scheduled council meeting, I'm gonna try to actually bring them in and everyone can see them at the meeting. Because they're light enough, I can get them on a dolly and we can show them all.
Okay.
So,
Was anybody able to find out who damaged the basketball court with the fireworks?
Yeah. I mean, you could see them, but you couldn't recognize them. Because with those camera systems, you gotta have them set, zoomed in exactly right. And until we get them on our phones, you can zoom them in on your phone, but we have to know that something's going on too, to look at it.
So there's no remote access at this point?
I mean, remote access. Yeah, you can see it. We looked at the film.
No, I mean remote access meaning that is there an app that everybody can put on their phone because originally.
There is, but the way we're running it right now, like I told you in the email, is that right now it's running 24/7. So it only has a certain amount of storage. So it's, 8 cameras, the amount of data that's generated from that, you get maybe about a week's worth, something like that. So we have to decide how to set each one individually up. We have to sit down, and Bob and I talked about this, and I haven't had time to do much at all of anything. But it's going to require us to systematically to develop a plan of how to set each camera up. And the more history we get with what we've got right now, then we can make those kind of decisions to find out which one do we need zoomed in or which one we need set at a certain time and set on motion, only record on motion. There's so many different things that can be done with these things. We just haven't had time to fool with it, so we'll get there.
Any other old business? Any new business? I don't know if it's got.
I've been tossing an idea around in my head for a while about the creation of a Bromley flag. Because we don't, to my knowledge, have one.
There ever has been
And
one, has there?
I was thinking maybe that's something that we could put out to the community over the course of maybe like a year and take some submissions from residents. There's a nice video from the Vexillological Association, which is the study of flags, that offers a certain level of guidance on how to create a municipal or state flag. And I don't know whether that's something that maybe we could put out on Facebook, maybe with a link to that video that shows you what those standards are, and say, hey, this is what we're looking for, and put it out to the community, and maybe give everybody like a year.
Well, if you got time to research and look at it, Andy, I've got nothing against it. I'm sure no council member's got something looking to bring it back.
I mean, I'd be happy to look at the submissions and stuff like that, come in. Maybe if we narrowed it, like after a year, we look at the top 3 and make a decision as a body or something
Well,
like that.
and in addition to that, I had talked about when I drive past Haters and see all the Ludlow shirts, I'd like to see like a Bromley shirt in there. So put our Bromley, established in, like they have Ludlow established in.
Yeah.
Are these flags something that the citizens could buy?
Well, yeah, I'm thinking if we create a flag, Yeah, maybe we could sell them at cost.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know whether we could sell them out the window here when we have business hours or what, but make those available to the public. And hopefully it's a nice looking flag and people wanna adorn their front stoops with
You
it.
could sell it down at
At the block
the
party.
block party.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
someone could
And the
have them
t-shirts.
at the booth and I love Bromley or
Yeah.
t-shirts or whatever,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
But it's a point of pride for the community to have a flag.
I think it's a good idea. You got no problem with Brittany putting that on Facebook?
You know, and I remember, of course, when I played basketball down there, it wasn't a flag, it was a banner with Bromley Bulldogs. And
Yeah.
that's what was, all the teams were the Bromley Bulldogs, you know what I mean? I remember that as a kid.
The logo is up in the gymnasium, the bulldog.
Oh,
When
and
you tore the front off that building, you could see it
Mhm.
on the back wall. It was,
I'll get photos of it so I can send it out.
yeah.
no, now work on it, and a t-shirt, work
You want
on
me
it.
to, do you want me to get with Brittany
Yeah, you can.
about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
While we're talking about shirts, I think Diane and I talked about it when you mentioned patterns at Norman Bell. I think perhaps you and Brittany ought to take a look at getting Bob and Jack some City of Bromley shirts.
Okay.
So they're identified
If I
with,
did, I'd like to be that color picture on your.
yeah, but I mean, at least having, I
City of Bromley.
identify them as employees of the City of Bromley.
Okay.
I think it really
I can talk today, I want them bright yellow or something,
Highlight
so,
yellow.
Yeah.
while they're out working, you know. Yeah, I'll get with
I think you
her.
can see me, can't you?
Huh?
I think you can see me, can't you?
I can see you very well.
How about you look in neon?
Smaller.
I doubt it.
All right, any other new business?
Well, I think the mayor should be required to wear a stovetop hat as well. A mayoral sash.
Need a motion the bills be paid?
You stuck that up real quick.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?